The carbon cycle is a fundamental process in Earth's ecosystems, ensuring that carbon, an essential element for life, is continuously recycled and made available to all living organisms. Carbon is a key component of organic molecules, including carbohydrates, proteins, and fats, which form the basis of all living tissues. The carbon cycle describes the movement of carbon through various reservoirs on Earth, including the atmosphere, oceans, soil, and living organisms. This cycle is crucial for maintaining the balance of carbon in nature and supporting life. The cycle begins with the absorption of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere by plants, algae, and some bacteria through the process of photosynthesis. During photosynthesis, these organisms use sunlight to convert carbon dioxide and water into glucose, a form of sugar that provides energy, and oxygen, which is released back into the atmosphere. The glucose produced by plants serves as the primary energy source for herbivores, which, in turn, are consumed by carnivores. This transfer of energy and carbon from plants to herbivores and then to carnivores constitutes the food chain. As organisms grow, reproduce, and eventually die, the carbon contained in their bodies is returned to the environment through the process of decay. Decomposers, such as bacteria, fungi, and certain invertebrates, play a critical role in this process by breaking down the dead organic matter. As they decompose the remains of plants and animals, these organisms release carbon back into the soil and atmosphere in the form of carbon dioxide and methane. This release of carbon completes the cycle, making it available again for use by plants and other photosynthetic organisms, thus cycling carbon back to the start of the food chain. The constant cycling of carbon through different forms and locations is known as the carbon cycle. It ensures that carbon, a finite resource, is continually available to sustain life. In addition to the biological processes of photosynthesis, respiration, and decomposition, the carbon cycle also involves other processes that move carbon between reservoirs. For example, carbon is stored in the oceans as dissolved carbon dioxide, which can be used by marine organisms or released back into the atmosphere. Similarly, carbon is sequestered in fossil fuels, such as coal, oil, and natural gas, which are formed over millions of years from the remains of ancient plants and animals. When these fossil fuels are burned for energy, the stored carbon is released back into the atmosphere as carbon dioxide, contributing to the greenhouse effect and climate change. The carbon cycle is dynamic and interconnected with other biogeochemical cycles, such as the nitrogen and water cycles, which together maintain the balance of elements necessary for life. However, human activities, such as deforestation, burning fossil fuels, and industrial processes, have significantly altered the carbon cycle, leading to an increase in atmospheric carbon dioxide levels. This disruption has far-reaching consequences for the Earth's climate, ecosystems, and the organisms that depend on them. In summary, the carbon cycle is a continuous process that recycles carbon through the environment, ensuring its availability for life. The cycle involves the movement of carbon through the atmosphere, living organisms, soil, and oceans, driven by processes such as photosynthesis, respiration, and decay. The breakdown of dead organic matter by decomposers is essential for returning carbon to the environment, completing the cycle and sustaining the flow of carbon through the food chain. Understanding the carbon cycle is crucial for recognizing the impact of human activities on the environment and the importance of maintaining the balance of this vital element in nature.